Hey, welcome to our craft together. Now I have news for you. I'm on my own. So for all those of you that were looking forward to having Ben, I am not bringing Ben. Have we got someone else in here? I didn't know you were doing this show.
No, I'm not.
Oh, Liam. Honestly, Liam is so bad. I was thinking, oh my goodness. Liam just came in and was like, what about me? Yeah, Liam's just doing a bit of faffing over there on the desk, so. Anyway, yeah, he scared me to death then. I was like, oh my goodness, how foolish do I feel? Anyway. I thought it would be unusual because I know even though he organises everything, he does not like to have himself on the screen very often. And he'll come and prove me wrong now. Here he is in his lovely Santa outfit. That's as much as we get. So anyway, hello everybody. Good afternoon in the UK. Good morning, probably in the US. Welcome to the Craft Together. Today we're going to be using the Celebrate Good Times collection. I've got it right. We've kept saying life's moments. We did for a couple of days. So no, today we're going to be using the Celebrate Good Times. So if any of you want any of the bits that we're going to be using, I'll tell you what we're using, and they are still available on the website. It's a lovely set. It's great in that it celebrates everything that we would celebrate in life. I think like new home, birthdays, awards, if you win a medal, win a certificate, all those lovely things. So we'll show you what we're going to be using anyway. So we're going to be making a little new home card, and we're going to be using some of, let me grab the paper pad because it's a lovely paper pad. So we've got some really, really nice designs in here. And because we're going to have, going to be using like things for graduation and birthdays and new home, we've got lots of like funky patterns, and we've got lots of ditzy patterns. We've got stripes, we've got checks, we've got wood effect, we've got confetti. It's a really, really nice pad that works right across the year for all different occasions. 6x6, which is what we love. So let's make a start. I'm also going to be using some of our lovely textured cardstock that we have, our linen cardstock. So we're going to do new home card. It's going to be, I actually said it was 8x8. I think it's actually 7x7. No, I've actually cut it down to somewhere in between. I've gone for 7.5 by 7.5, purely because I'm using some of the 6x6 papers. Sometimes a 6x6 can become a bit lost on an 8x8. So I trimmed it down. If it was 7x7, it would not give us enough around the edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with like an orange and blue theme. So we've got some blue linen card. We've got a sheet of the orange paper, which again has got like it's not textured as such, but it's got a bit like a grungy kind of splatty background. So it's quite nice when you get really close in on it. And then we're going to be building up the little house here. So I've got some bits cut. I need to cut a few more, and we'll show you how to put the house together. And then also, if we get time as well, we're going to stamp and emboss the sentiment, and hopefully we'll get time. We might get a bit of bunting on there as well from the same collection. So, but I'll show you that as we go along. So if I bring my little box into here, you'll see I've got a few little bits cut already, but we still need to do a couple more to just build up the house. So I think what we're going to do as well, originally my thought was we would put the house on straight onto the paper, but since I've got here and got all my bits and bobs out, I feel like I want to actually put something in the centre as well that the house can go on. So I might actually use one of our, and I'm going to just have a look, we've got our nesting dies. So I'm going to grab the circle nesting dies first of all. These are our 8x8 nesting dies. I think one might have dropped. Oh, there's a couple dropped off in there, but I don't need that one. Anyway, so I think what we'll do, if we just grab, I'm just going to look at the size. I feel like that one's too big. So I feel like that one might be better. But what we need to do first of all is I want to bring in the house die here for you so you can see exactly all the components that we're going to use. Now, when you cut these, you'll see that they're a little bit quirky in that the windows are taken out of here, but they're narrow at the bottom and wider at the top. So it's a little bit of a fun house. So what we need to do is just figure out which bits we need, and that will then depict which size circle we will go with. So I'm just going to do a rough kind of build up here of my little bits, just to see if that circle would be okay. I think it would actually. I think it would be good. So I'm going to cut that one out of white. So let's do that now. I just pop those back on their little tray, and then I know where they are. And I will bring in some of my white card, which is here. And so we'll do a nice little circle. I wish I had longer arms. I put everything everywhere and then I can never reach. So, okay, so what we'll do, if we put this on like right in the middle, that means then that when we've cut that, we can use this frame that we'll have made. We'll have made like an aperture, so we can keep that frame to use on something else. So we'll pop that onto there. So it's really weird doing a show without having Ben on here, chatting and reading your jokes and everything. And I should have brought my phone in, shouldn't I? Then I could have had the comments. I didn't think it's been so long since I've had to do that. And I totally forgot about that. I do apologise. So George and Jamie will be, they're in the gallery, so they will give us a shout if some things come through. Keep an eye on it. And if you've got any questions or anything, just let us know, give us a shout, and we will answer them. I never thought about that. I never thought. Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I can get it in the break. I'll get it in the break. That's good. We'll have a little break. That'll give me the opportunity to grab that. Okay, so now we've got our circle, and that'll go in the middle. We've also got some little panels here that I've cut from some of the papers, and we're going to incorporate these somehow. But I think I'm going to do that at the end, because in my brain originally I had these that they were going to kind of come in from the edge, on each different edge. So we'll look at that as we get to it. So let's start to build up our house on here. So I'm going to keep it nice and clean on the white background. Okay, so the bits that we've got already are here. Now then, I wanted to show you this as well, because I think this is quite useful. When you cut this panel out that gives you the little like hill that your house sits on, this works as well if you want it to. I mean, look at that now. That's actually a snow globe, isn't it? Which I didn't realise. So you could, in effect, do a house in the snow globe. I really didn't even think about that till I've just cut that circle, but that makes a good snow globe. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop this here. So this will go, I think what we'll have to do with this is we're going to have to cut a little bit off the edges, because what we need to do is we're going to build up the house. We have some extra sections to put on there. So like that. But what that means then, I can bring another piece of this in to give us like a nice little hilly bit. So let's stick that on first of all. So I'll bring my tacky glue in, and we'll pop this on here. Get the little dried bit off the end there, and then, so we're going to lift it up by about probably 3/4 of a centimetre, something like that. And what I will do, just before I put that on, I must remember, I decided, because we're on linen cardstock and textured cardstock, that we should ink all the edges on everything, just to give it a little bit more life. So we're going to be using some of the Harmony opaque pigments here, and this will just define all the edges, so it just gives us a little bit more kind of detail on there. So let's pop this down here, and then we'll trim off the edges there that we don't actually need. There we go. So we'll just snip off those with my scissors, and get right up to there with the blades, and then snip that off. There we go. And then what we will do is we'll add this other little piece here that was at the bottom. This was not going to be used, but what I am going to do now, I'm going to pop it here. So it'll give us a little bit of kind of a, you know, just a different shaped grassy bit. And it means we don't have to just then discard this. We might as well use it. So let's do that. So just go along the edge. And again, what we'll do is we'll just attach that, and then we can trim off the edges. So we've got a nice grassy bit at the bottom. And then we can start to build up the little house. So let's do that there like that. And you could probably even put like a little gate on or something at the front there, some little flowers. But again, we'll go along the edge of there and we'll trim that bit off that we don't need. So again, just get your scissors right up to the edge there. And we'll just trim that bit off like that. It's so weird being in the studio on my own. I know, I've got back up in the gallery, I know you're there. Yeah, it's just really weird, you know. It's so weird. Because I used to do it all the time when I first started. We used to do a lot of like things together. Sorry, on our own, and then we would be together later. And so it's a bit weird today. But it's all right. It's okay. He'll be here in a bit. I mean, he is here. He's just in a meeting, so it's fine. So what we're going to do now? So we've got our little grass on here now. So we've got a couple of sections of grass. So we want to build up the little house now. So we have got some extra bits. So I'm going to bring these in and show you where all these little bits go, because obviously we have like a little porch section as well. So let me look at, am I a little piece missing here? You know, I might need to cut a little porchway. So because I've chosen to go with like pinks and beiges and whites, I've got to decide which colour. I think I want to go with a paler pink for the porch, like the extended bit of the porch here. So we've got some contrast. So let's get the orange ink. And we'll go around the edge of this. I know it's not orange as such, the cardstock, but because we're going to use pink as well, I want to do some pink around the really bright pink that we've chosen. So just we've got contrast then in all the bits that we put together. So we do that like that, and that then defines the edge of there. And then we'll bring in, to do this bit, I think we'll bring in brown. So we use the seal brown again, which is I think this is probably one of our most used inks, the brown, because you can use it for everything. You can do it against colours, you can do it on white, you can use it on like the beige we're doing here. It always gives it that vintage feel. As soon as you put brown ink on the edge, it kind of just changes it. So there we go. So it starts to give it a little bit of a difference, and it does look nice when it's done. So we need to do I want to do the orange again here, just around the door. Now there's actually, in this die set, there's a door handle. Right, now this is not one of the smallest dies I've ever seen in my life, but you know what? If you don't want to do that, just draw it on. But I have actually put the white door handle on here, and it's really, really cute. I absolutely love it. And because I've got textures on there as well, I don't have to put it through and emboss the lines in the door. So what we're going to do now is we need to cut the taller section, so which is this one. So we're going to cut the taller section. Now I think I can just fit it. In fact, I've got a bigger piece. Let's use it on there. I don't want to have the textures on an angle if I don't have to. So let's pop that one onto there, and we'll just pop a little bit of tape on there. And then I think what we might do as well, because the door is orange, we need to put our little window frames in as well. So we'll do that in a second. In fact, we might do that now, actually. Let's do them in pink. So we kicked all kinds of tones in. So we'll cut a little window on the first pass through, and then we'll cut the second one. And those are going to go back into the gap here. And I've already cut them out. When you cut this panel here for the bottom of the house, you don't get the windows already cut out. You have to place the window in and cut them out. So you'll see when I've cut them, we've got the little window here. So these are the ones that go back in. But obviously I've cut the house from that, so I want a contrast. So you could do white if you wanted to, like all our double glazing seems to be these days in the UK. Although I think we are changing a bit now, aren't we? There's more choice now with black and grey and oak and things. But yeah, we'll cut a couple of little windows out and then we can put those back in there. And then we can build up the little porchway as well. So let's grab that window out of there. Let's grab the porch here. So this is going to go at the front. And obviously we'll put some ink on it so it kind of frames it a little bit. You pop that one back on there, then we don't lose it. And we'll pop the window out and then we'll do another one. Another little window, so we've got two of those. And I think we need a small window as well in the porch. So I'll have to perhaps pop that back in, which I'll do now. And then we can put the little window in the top. So we've got a nice little window there. And just be careful pulling them out because they are small and they are fragile. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop that one back in. Just put that little bit out. I'll pop that one back on there so that we can then cut that one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the porch back in. So I need a bit more space on the mat here. So we're going to pop that through and then we're going to put the little window from the die set here. That's going to go onto the porch because it actually has like a big window at the top. Sorry, a small window at the top, not a big one. So what we'll do is we'll cut that. In fact, I've just had another thought. I don't think I'm actually going to cut that through. I think I'm going to cut... No, I will actually. I'll cut it through. I will. I'm changing my mind as I do it. So obviously I know it's not like me, is it? You know me, I do like changing my mind. Because when you start to build them up with the colours, when you start to put it together, and every crafter does this, you start to put them together, and then you think, oh, I'm going to change that. So I'd put all my bits together colour-wise as to what I was going to use, and then now, of course, I'm kind of changing my mind, but that's fine. I've already got a little window cut out anyway, which I can put back in, but again, it's a contrast colour, so that will still work. So it's the same colour as the house, so that will give us a little contrast there. So let's pop this out. This is just the cutest windows. I mean, look how cute that is without the window. But look at the window. It's amazing. It's teeny tiny. It's just the cutest thing. Oh, so lovely Sandy has texted in and she says that we could probably turn this into a gingerbread house. I like that idea, Sandy. Thank you for that. It would work. I think it is. It's quite quirky because it's not like straight, you know what I mean? The windows and the house is angled only slightly, but just enough to make it fun. So it would work as a gingerbread house. If anybody tries that, please send us pictures in. I keep asking for pictures. I keep saying when we've done some pre-records, and I'm like, please send us pictures in if you make this or if you make anything like this or using this, so we can see what you've done. Because we do like everyone else's ideas and everyone else's inspiration, because you give us ideas and makes us think slightly differently as well to what we might have done. So, okay, so here we go now. So we've got a few little bits. So these are the fiddlier bits. So what we want to do now, we want to bring in the pink, opaque ink. Do you know what? In all my life of crafting, I don't think I've ever seen such a glorious pink ink pad as that one. It's just the perfect colour of pink. When you think of pink, that is pink. And I just thought we must have a pink one on that shelf there. So I've just found that. So again, we're going to go just around the edge here, and it'll just pick up that linen texture. Even though it's quite subtle, but it's just enough to make it all like go together really nicely and make it look a little bit more, less rigid, I want to say. I don't know if that's the right word, but less kind of, less rigid. So then we're going to add a tiny bit of brown on here. Now this is the bit that goes around the door. So this is going to be hard to ink because it's very, very thin. But just putting a little bit on there and you can see it will show. Okay, so let's do around the pink, the brown window here, because this is going to go back into the porch. Okay, right. So that, you see, when we put that in there now, that will be quite cute. Look at that, that'd be really cute. I love cute things. This is really cute. Okay, so that's really, really quite sweet. So what we need to do as well, and I'm going to bring in, because we've got the backing paper that's going to go on, which is using this, what I'm going to do, on the die, you'll see it's got blue behind the windows. Well, and that looks great in the picture, but you would never see that, I don't think, would you? You'd be able to see maybe through to the back of the house, but it would have furniture and things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put like little or little curtains or something in. So what we're going to do, and this is a faffy bit, but it's cute anyway, it'll be cute. So what we'll do is we'll put a little bit of glue on there, and then take off the excess with my finger, and then put that right up into the corner here. Okay, we've got... Okay, Sandy, so the ink is Pink Tulip, and it's the Harmony Opaque pigment. So it's got that really kind of nice finish to it. And again, you can blend with this. You can use it with your heat tool and your embossing powders. So yeah, it is a beautiful pink. It's called Pink Tulip. So, and we have got show this afternoon, haven't we, George, with Colour Me Happy with ink pads. So we're going to be using different ink pads. I'm not sure if that colour will be on there, but we are going to be using different ones and doing some like backgrounds and some embossing and things like that. So if you want to join us for that as well. And Ben will be with us on that too. So obviously he'll be doing all your comments, which is good. Are we going to get in crafting? Do you think so? Oh, we could do, couldn't we? I guess we could. Why not indeed? Why not indeed? I think he likes crafting, to be honest. I really do think he likes it. Right, so we've got a little blind there. Now, you can't see it probably because it's tiny, but you'll see it when we get it all together. And then we need to put, so the front door can go on now. So the front door will go right onto the pink section. And remember, the door is kind of angled, so it's a little bit narrower at the bottom than it is at the top. It's a bit on like a style of, I guess, like Alice in Wonderland or, you know, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's got those quirky little elements. And then we'll put like the little arch around there. So again, this is a little bit fiddly, but it's all right. I love fiddling and faffing with little things like this. So let's get that just around there. And because we've got those thin sides on there, if we get that on there like that, what I'm going to do is bring it down a tiny bit, because obviously it's going to just catch on the edge of my window there. So I should have probably brought that window a bit higher, but anyway, it doesn't matter, it'll be fine. So we'll pop that on there, and then we can trim off those little bits at the bottom like that. And we'll still be able to get our window in, but we can't put the window in, I don't think, until we get this against the house. So we're going to pop that there for a second, and then bring in the house. Now you'll see on the house here, we've got like a little line there. In fact, we've got the little top bit as well here. So let's do that. That's going to go on the top there like that. So with hindsight, I should have moved the window up. I wasn't really thinking. I'd never be a builder, that's for sure. Can you imagine? When they turn up to look at the new house and go, why is that door frame touching the windowsill? I don't know. I'm a crafter, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a builder, yeah. We thought it would just give it a little bit of a difference. Yeah, it is, yeah. There'd be all kinds of complaints in, wouldn't there? Now, we've just popped that at the top, and then the rest of that we'll have to put on when we attach it to the front of the house. So what I'm going to do now, we've got a little thin strip here, and this needs to go on the house. So what we'll do, I think we'll bring the roof down. So we'll bring the roof down just onto the top there, like this. Just going to do a tiny bit of glue along there, just so that we can level that up and see where we are at with that, like that. Oh, I just love that little house. It's weird because when I used to draw houses when I was little, back in the 60s and 70s, I always drew it like that. I always drew it with a couple of windows and a roof and a chimney, and that's how I did it. And then a window on either side and the front door in the middle. And all of a sudden now, what we're going to do is going to put that like really high front bit on that then turns it into like a modern house. The houses like we have on the estates now. The house that I stay in when I'm here, is like a 3-story house. So, and all the houses in the street on the estate are 3-story ones. So they're quite different to how they were, you know, when I just got my first new house. They really are quite different. And it's great because you've got a 3rd floor. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Do you really, Jamie Lee, live on a 3rd floor? Ah, I guess it's nice up there because you just took yourself away at the top of the house, you know, and people don't know you're there. Yeah, that sounds good. I could do with a 3-story house, to be honest, for all my stuff. There we go. So we've got that nice little white line along there now, and then we have another piece that goes at the bottom here. So we need to put these on before we do any of the porch, because that's then gonna you know, sit in front of this. So get that right up to the edge. I'm just going to lift this again while I get it to the edge there, because I can't quite do it when I'm like looking at it from above. Better to do it in my hands like that. It actually looks like it's being built now, doesn't it, as a new house? Right, so let's grab the poker tool. I just need to put that window on there, then I don't lose that. So we're going to bring this in now. And obviously I did those little bits there at the end. I just brought that down a little bit, so I just need to snip those off. And then this will go on the front here. Now you could, if you wanted to, put that on with pads, so it's kind of quite proud of the actual house itself. But I'm going to leave it as it is because I think it just looks fine. And then we'll pop that window in, and because we've put the blinds on there as well, the little blind in the window, that will kind of sit quite nicely, and you won't see the roof through the window, which you would have done if I'd just left it as a plain, like, empty window. And then I'll pull that off, I'll pop that back on again in a sec. So let's do that, just at the bottom there. And I'm not going to do too much glue on here because I know I don't want it to blob out at the sides. So we've got that on there, and the windows I can put in from the back. Okay, so let's do this here. We'll put our little window on here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to pop the windows in, and then we're going to have a couple of minutes break, and then we're going to come back and we'll put the rest of the card together. So I'll just do let's get the curtains in here. So you could, if you wanted to, be doing like curtains that have, you know, like tie backs and things, so they look like proper draped curtains, but I'm not going to do that, just for the time aspect as well. We're just going to pop that on there. We will trim around that one, like that one, so it gives us a little windows. And if you saw the show we did yesterday, where we did the, now which dies would you use this day? Staircase dies, where we did like the block of flats or a block of apartments. Again, we just used paper and card at the back of the windows just to make it look a little bit like lived in, like there was someone in there. And again, it's another great way of using up your scraps, and it just stops it looking a little bit kind of bare. So we've got the window there. Just chop that little bit off the edge. Let's trim that down. And we've got our little windows there. Oh, another little bit I need to chop off. There we go. And then we can pop. The little windows will go in underneath there like that. And then that one will go in there as well. So we've got our windows. They're quite near to that porch, but they're fine because it definitely looks like a little house there. Okay, so we've got our little house put together. So the rest of it now is going to be a little bit easier. So we'll just pop this little bit on the top here, and then we're going to have a quick little break while we just re-adjourn, and then we will be back with you. So at least we've got the little house done. It's so cute. Imagine doing like a row of them and doing like a DL card, like in landscape form, and then just doing all different houses. You know, you can even do a taller one by extending this. So I really like that house. It's really cute. Okay, so we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we can get it all assembled.
Hello, my name is Christine Mahoney. I love Crafters TV for so many reasons. Number one is the enjoyment I get from watching Ben and all of the demonstrators making the projects. That's what sells me on buying the products, because they show us how to use them. I love all of the products and all of the paper pads, of course, and everyone involved in Crafters TV and Crafters Companion. And of course the interaction with all of the people that write in. I met some of my best friends for life from Crafters TV, so thank you very much. So, cheers to my favorite crafting company of all time. You bring me such joy, like the taste of this fine red wine. The products, the people, and Crafters TV bring me joy, make me happy, and you're all family to me. I love you all so very much. Now let's all stay in touch. Cheers.
What I love most about Crafters TV is the community.
Crafters TV brings everyone together from different corners of the world.
It also connects you with people from all over the world.
You guys have been there for me. I feel like you guys are my family.
I feel like I'm crafting along with my friends.
I met some of my best friends for life from Crafters TV, so thank you very much.
When you're having a tough time, you can switch on Crafters TV and you can go on the live chat, and you know people will be there for you as well.
And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials.
It's a place where we can all share our love for Crafterscompanion, ideas, and get inspiration from each other.
So what's not to love about Crafters TV? So go make a coffee and pull up a chair. Let's all get crafting. I'll see you all there.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty program today and receive 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits to joining Club Inspire include special members-only sales, and you can receive discounts or exclusive access to products, and even free gifts. You will receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro that you spend. And the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. See if you can craft your way up to our ultimate Club Inspire tier, Platinum, where you'll enjoy the very best discounts and rewards that we offer. As you keep climbing through the club, you can actually reach Platinum Plus and even Platinum for life. The more points you collect, the more you will be rewarded within our amazing special Club Inspire community. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club, and start rewarding yourself today.
Hi, my name's Amelia Sirocco. Ben challenged us to write a limerick, and he sang mine on Crafters TV. I'm giving it another go. Advance notice, producer Johnny. Sorry. When Sarah was gone, we were sad, but now she is back and we're glad. Showstoppers each day say what? Shout hip hooray, my packages are on their way. Thanks for all you do.
Hello, welcome back. So we're going to carry on with the card now, and hopefully we'll get it all put together, and then you'll be able to maybe do it yourself, or it might inspire you to make something similar, or you might even change it completely. So we've got the house put together now, and I think it's nicely dry. Obviously, with hindsight, as we said, I should have probably put the window a bit higher up, but until I put it together, I wasn't. I didn't think about that, but it's all right. It looks absolutely fine. And we could actually, what's really fashionable as well now, isn't it? Is to put like big door numbers over the house, like not bigger than the windows, but pretty big. So you could always do that as well on there. But yeah, so that's the little house done. And then what we're going to do now, we will put it onto here. So you see how it will sit on there. But we've got to put our little trees in first. So what we want to do, again, bring in some of the, this is the grasshopper opaque pigment. So we're just going to go around those little trees, those little shrubs, and put those at the side of the house. So I've got one for each side, just as it is on the packaging. If we bring that in, you can see how that works. And again, you could have more of these if you want to. You don't have to just have a couple on there. You could do quite a few if you wanted to. So let's do that there. Okay, so we're going to put those underneath the house. Now, what we could do is put the house on pads, or we could layer it so that it's glued at the bottom and on pads at the top, so you've still got a bit of a lift, or you can just put it on flat, whatever you want to do. So you'll see that the little trees they're flat on one edge here, more or less flat anyway, and then here as well. In fact, they're both the same actually, so it doesn't really matter. Now we'll look at them. So let's see where we want to position those. So I think this one needs to come a little bit further along this way, and you can have them like on level with the grass, or you can have them behind the grass or in front of the grass. It doesn't matter. You put it where you want to put it. Now I did see on one of the comments there that I think it was Rosalind who says she's glad to see this demo because she needed to see the size of the house. And then Karen also says she used this die set about a month ago and it worked out very well. So maybe you could send us a picture of what you actually did with it, Karen. And then we've also got Natalie who says she missed out on the fireplace and door dies but got the Christmas accessories set, so it could work as well on this house set. Yeah, absolutely could. And this is what I've been saying like over the last few weeks. We've brought out lots of dies that are kind of on a similar scale. So like with the seasonal car dies and with the family history dies, and then with these kind of dies as well, celebrate the good times, the cloche dies, you can I think you could use them all together and create some really, really fabulous looking projects. Because again, you're going to have lots of people, that you can use from the family history dies. You're also going to be able to use the seasonal card die. You imagine using that with this. So what you could have the house sat here on a project. So if you imagine this is in the background, and then you could obviously have the car at the front here, do it on a driveway. So it could be for someone who's maybe just got married, got a new house, got a new car, everything is going good in life, and you might just want to send them something to say, well done, great that everything is going well and you deserve it, and blah, 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 and stuff like that. So I think that would be quite nice, to be honest. And I think they would work really, really well with some of your sentiments and things. So obviously now we've got that, and that works quite well on there now, because it actually looks like it's an aperture and we're looking into it, but we're not really. It's on the top, so it's giving you that kind of three-dimensional effect, even though we've kept it all flat. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go around the edge of this cardstock with, the paper, with some of the orange. And I think this works really well with the blue too, because the inspiration for that came from the floral papers that I'm using, that are also in the kit. So, because it's really, really beautiful paper. So, so Karen has very kindly sent us a picture of what she made with it. So we're just going to get that. But it's not brought the picture up. Don't think it'll bring it up for me, will it? I don't think it will. And then Carol is saying, hello Sheila, lovely card. Sorry, I was just checking I'd read everybody's sentiments. Okay, so it'd be nice to see what Karen has made. I don't know how I would do that. It doesn't come up on because I'm on the WhatsApp group. I'm not on the, okay. Let me have a look. So, tell me what I need to do. I need to go to where? Sorry, George? Oh, okay. Let me see. Aha. Okay, let me just click on there. Okay, let me make this big. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. So on here like this. Yeah, that's brilliant. Look at that house. That house is, do you want me to lift it? Oh, sorry. Look at that, that's fabulous. And I'm guessing you've used, Karen, the family history dies. You've got to have done. And has he got a chainsaw? She's made it, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So she's made him a chainsaw out of something. Be all the bits and bobs, won't it? But she's made the chainsaw. And then all these are all the bits that have like cut down. There's even rabbits on there as well. That's fantastic. That is brilliant. Who would not love that? And as you said, it's worked really well. It's worked totally brilliantly. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for sending that in, Karen. And now it's always exciting, isn't it, when you get your card put on the TV as well. It's like, oh my goodness, my card's been on the TV. So what we're going to do now, we're going to pop this into the middle, and then we're going to bring in these other little panels, which I might cut them down because I don't want them to overshadow what we've just done here. And then we will do a little stamped sentiment on here as well. So let's pop this down into the middle like this. So that will go onto there. And then, let me just move that. I've just nudged that a bit. And just press that. Now I've nudged it the other way. There we go. I think that one's pretty much okay. So then what I did, I cut 4 strips of the orange textured linen card. I need to turn that around so it's got the linen the right way. And then I also did 4 strips of the blue paper from the pad, which is what we've just done like the blinds with in the house. So it kind of matches. So even though it's very, very small in here, it still matches that. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to attach these onto here. Now my original plan was to do them so that these panels were in the middle of the orange strips and they would kind of go around the edge. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it right up to that edge, and I'm going to do some like little, almost like little V's that will come in. So we're going to try and do that first. So let's do then. In fact, I'm not going to do V's. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do like an angled shape instead. So let's go along here. I'm not doing this with the tacky glue. This will be a little bit quicker for us here. So let's pop this onto there like that. So we've got a bit of edge, a bit of the orange edge showing like this. And then what we can do is we can actually cut this into like an angle like that. So that can kind of go up there. And then we'll do another one, which will come down at this end, and we'll do them all the way around like that. So with this one, what I want to do, probably for this, I will have to cut the angle the other way so that it looks right. So I don't know if it needs to be, let me look at this, if it needs to be that way, or if it needs to be, no, I think it needs to be that way. I think we need to do it that way. So what we'll do, we'll trim it to the same size, and we'll do the same with the others. So again, it's just giving us something around the edge that will just stop us having that completely white bit. And if you kind of angle it so that it's right up to the edge, but this is central with this line here, and then we do the same there, and then we're going to do another one. So we've got 2 for the bottom here. And again, that'll just, it won't overshadow the house because it's got the too much pattern on, but we'll still be able to see the pattern in the curtains, so it will reflect that. So I think that'll be, I might just grab another one of these. I'm not sure if that's a little bit wide. I want to show more orange. That's better. You know, when you cut things like this, when you're crafting, you cut things, and then, but you don't stick them together, and you put them in your bag. And then, because I'm cutting it on my guillotine, I'm cutting them as evenly as I can get them, but then if they get mixed up in your bag, sometimes you think, you know what, I don't think that one matches like it did before. So sometimes you have to just kind of have a little play around and see which one fits better onto another piece. I can see that this one is probably about like 1 millimetre out in width. So now we're going to do this one like this, and then this one will go up there like that. So it's just giving us something different around the edge. We could try it as well. If you wanted to, you might be happier doing them like that. So they're right in the corners. That's up to you. We'll look at that. When we look at it on the overhead, that gives us a different view. Or you could bring this in. What did you prefer, Jamie? See, so you could do it like that as well. Let's get that so it's kind of even. So you've got a little bit of a like that. Do you want to leave it like that? Let's do it like that then. So what we'll do, we'll pop this on with the little glue runner. So we're not going right to the edge now. We're bringing it in by about probably like a centimetre or something like that. And then these are not going to be central anymore. These are going to be more like kind of lower down. So if you can repeat that all the way, then that will be fine. And it's always nice when everyone joins in and says, oh, I would do it like that, or I would move it in a bit, or yeah, I quite like that bit there. So it's always nice when everybody joins in as well. I'll just see if anybody sent any more messages. Let's have a look. Let's see. Yeah, I should have probably done it through Facebook, shouldn't I, rather than, that's what Ben does, isn't he? Oh, does he? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he does it. Oh, really? Oh, yes, Joe, that's just come up on there as well. Yeah, it was weird when I got up this morning. And you know what? I went to bed last night. I was in bed for like 10 to 10. I was absolutely shattered because I'd not had a great night's sleep the night before, and I'd been up very early and drove up to Crafters, obviously. So last night I was really ready for my bed, and I got in bed and I'd brought with me, I've had a summer quilt on at the house, and I thought, right, I better get a winter quilt. So I was really snug last night, and I think that helped. I think it kept me kind of fast asleep, and I woke up about 5:30, and then I went back to sleep, and then my alarm was on for 7:30, and then I snoozed it, and I was like, you can't snooze your alarm, you need to get up and go to the office. So I snoozed it for 10-15 minutes, and I got up and I showered and everything, started to get dressed, and I thought, do you know what, it seems like it's really still dark outside. When I opened the curtains, it was really thick fog. And I was quite surprised. I was like, oh my goodness, it's really, really foggy. Yeah, really, really foggy. So, but anyway, I think it's probably cleared now, although it didn't look like it had an hour ago. So, right, so we've got our house, which we're going to put in the middle. This now looks like we've used some, you know, when you take your washi tape and you tear a bit, and then you stick it on when you're doing like your vintagey stuff. It almost looks like we've put big washi tape on there, even though we haven't, it's just paper. So what we want to do now then, I want to stamp the sentiment now. So I'm going to bring the little stamp set in, and this has got some really, really great stamps on here. When I pull this out, you'll be able to see on the front here. So we've got everything for like first job, bon voyage, missing you already, sorry you're leaving, cheers to you, reach for the sky, adventure begins, you're awesome, follow your dreams, congratulations on your, and then you do your first job, your first graduation, new job, new home, let's celebrate, you did it. It's a wonderful news as well, so it could work for, you know, pregnancy, new pregnancy, or let's celebrate, it could be someone reaching like 50, or, so I think it's a really, really good set, worth having in your crafting stash, and because it's all written in like, it's like done in handwriting, but different ones, some with a thicker pen, some with a thinner pen. So I feel like it's a really kind of natural set that'd be good to have. So what we're going to do now I was keen to stamp new home on the top here, because if I grab this and show you, it fits really nicely. But you know, there's always that fear when you do it that you're going to splodge it or a bit will miss, and I think, I mean, it would fit really well there, but I'm not sure I want to do it. I'm not sure, I don't want to just do that after we spent ages putting that house together. So I think I'm just going to do it on a little piece of white card, and I think we'll do it in, let's stamp it in, I'm looking at the colours we've used, let's maybe stamp it in. Oh, we've got green, we've got pink, we've got orange, we've got brown. So I think I might do brown actually. just because that tones in and with the house. So let's do it in brown. We're using seal brown. I've got my little, I've got a tub of embossing powder. I've got my tray, got the heat tool down here. So I'm not going to put it on that one. I'm going to put it, and that's textured cardstock. I'm going to put it on a little piece of just regular white stamping card. Just because sometimes on a textured card, even though it looks nice, if you've got something that's quite thin or narrow like this, it might not always pick up what we need it to pick up. So it can be quite patchy. So we'll try this. Now, I don't think I've used the new home stamp before on this, so I might need to just do it a couple of times just to get it used to. I think we'll just go with that. You can see how simple it is. And then we'll put a little bit of clear embossing powder on, and we'll heat it up, and it'll just get a little bit deeper in colour. I'll just give that a sec to get warm. And then, so what it'll do, it'll just make it a little bit darker. You can see it changing now, and a little bit more glossy. And I quite like the simplicity of this one. There we go. So we can turn that off now. Pop that back on there. And then we can trim this down. I'll deal with that after. And then we'll bring in, I'm just going to bring in the, I've got the little trimmer here. Perfect baby trimmer. Oh my goodness. I ordered one of these the other day. I'm so excited to get it. Because it's tiny and it's cute. Okay, so let's chop a little bit off there, like that. I think I might just need to trim that a little bit more on there because I've not quite got it straight. So let's get that straight on there like that. Okay. Okay, so what we can do now, we'll just do a little bit of ink around the edge of here as well. Like that. There we go. Pop that to one side. Right, so let's bring this back in now with our card. There we go. Make sure I've got it the right way. That way. And then I think what we'll do is we'll put this on with, let's see, I might just actually put some ink around the edge and then just put it on. I don't think I'm going to put it onto anything else. Just put a little bit of orange on there, like that. So we'll do the orange there, just around the edge, quite a bit of it. And then what we'll do is we'll bring in the brown as well. So the brown will do like the deeper edge around there. So it just gives it that nice little framed section like that. And because we've got the orange and the brown, it kind of tones in nicely. And it's really subtle. Right, so we need to stick the house panel on, don't we? And I think what we should do then as well here is bring in a little bit of the green there just to put the edge on there, like that. And again, I'm only putting a tiny bit on the edge. If you want to bring it in and blend it, you can, but I very often like just do this with a sponge just around the edge. So it just gives us that tiny, tiny little bit of a frame. And then what we will do as well, we'll do it on the edge of the card. So again, we've still got that green in there because we've got quite a lot of green. And it just highlights the edge there. Just get a bit more on there. And then we can pop our little house on there. And you could add gems on, add some like little buttons and things like that, some ribbon. You know, you could add where you've put your little panels on the end here. You could add some like gems. So you might want to do 3 green gems, something like that. So I think what we'll do, we'll pop this on with some pads so it just lifts that up because we've not done any dimension with the actual house itself. So we'll just pop 1 or 2 of these on like this, and then we can stick that on. Again, it's quite simple, but it's just nice to use just one aspect of that kit really. You know, concentrate on the house, But it'd be nice to do a row of houses. You know, and I think of all these ideas and I think, right, I'm going to do that when I get home. And then I get home and I've got prep to do for when I come back or when I go to Hobby Maker. So there's never a chance to just sit and make some things with the actual collections. So I'm hoping over Christmas, although everybody would say, well, holidays, it's a holiday, you know, you don't need to be working over Christmas. Well, I won't be working. I'll just be crafting for myself, you know. So, right, let's have a look. I think that's about central. And then we need to pop, not sure where we're going to put this now, whether we put it at the top or whether we put it at the side or on the grass. Yeah, should we do it on the grass? We'll do it on a couple of pads so it's raised up. Just put it at the bottom. And again, you could do some extra little bits if you wanted to. Let's see. I'll pop that one on there. And like that. Does it need to be a little bit higher? Let's do an extra pad. Make it a bit higher. So that's a little bit more prominent. And then I think what I would be doing is getting some gems out and putting some gems just here. Maybe some green ones just to bring the green in, or even maybe some pink ones or something like that. But just so that it kind of finishes off. And you can always do a couple of birds or whatever you want to. You could do a background. It's entirely up to you, but I just wanted to do a few little... it actually looks like we've cut an aperture and we're looking in, doesn't it? But we've not actually. I'll stand it up and then you can see that we've not done that. But there's your little house card for a new home. And hopefully someone would like that. But definitely, if you've done any pictures or anything, or you've got any pictures of anything that you've done with these dies, please send them in and let us have a look, because we love to see what all of you make. So we are going to be back in an hour. So we'll be back at 2 o'clock with, we've got a launch, a digital launch. And we've got some really, really nice digital pads that are available for you to download and print out. I've got some of them printed out. We're going to hopefully get a few demos done with some of them. They're really nice. There's some quirky ones. There's some traditional ones. Honestly, they're really nice. Great colours, great designs. I think you'll really love them. So we will see you at 2. Ben will be back with us as well at 2. And in the meantime, enjoy what you're doing for the next hour. Go and grab yourself a brew. Go and do a bit of crafting, and we will see you back here at 2. And thank you for joining us for crafting together.